Hi, I'm live and it's 11 o'clock on a Tuesday morning and it's time for Mrs. Mummypenny Talks. And I've had a bit of a break. Hope you didn't miss me last week. I was away for half term. So now I'm back. Now, I've decided to change the location of my podcast. So today I'm sat in my kitchen at my breakfast bar and I'm testing the audio to see if it actually works without those horrendous headphones. So I'm simultaneously doing this Facebook Live and I'm recording it on Audacity as well, which the levels seem to be okay, maybe a little bit loud. Let's just turn that down a little bit. That's better. So yes, welcome to Mrs. Mummypenny Talks. So what I'm going to talk to you about today is I'm going to tell you all about my a few days in Norfolk last week. I'm also going to talk to you about the Reverse Advent calendar, which is a new campaign as part of the UK Money Bloggers, which is going live this week. And I'm also going to talk to you about spending diaries and a very simple thing I've realised this week, which has made it easier for me. So yes, last week I was in Norfolk and I did an Airbnb again. I love Airbnb. Used it for the first time this year. No, that just looks silly, doesn't it? It's such a cheap way to book a few nights in a location that you want to go to. So I only booked it, I think I booked it maybe like 4 or 5 days before we went away. And I managed to find this really cute little chalet by the sort of coast in Norfolk. We went to this place called Mundersley, I hope I'm saying that right, Mundersley, which is on the coast, just sort of south of Cromer. It was like a holiday chalet, sort of in a chalet park, but it was really nice, 2 bedrooms, a really cute living room, bathroom and kitchen, really big outside space, which the boys loved. They brought all their rugby balls and football balls to play around with, and it was 40 quid a night. Like 40 quid, that's really, really good. Great location. The cliffs were literally like 3-minute walk away, and you could walk down the cliffs via this sort of zigzag path called the cardiac path. I realised why it's called the cardiac path when I walked back up it. It was quite hard going. So yes, beach really, really close by. So yeah, and when we arrived there, the tide was out and it's just miles and miles of sandy beach. It was absolutely beautiful. You've got all the breakers as well. So then we walked along the beach to sort of the main town of Mundersley, and had a bit of an explore around the village, and we were there for 4 days altogether. So what we did was just sort of toured up and down the coast and went to go see as many sort of beaches and places as possible. So we went to Cromer, had a walk up the pier and along the beach, a bit of a rocky beach there, where crabs come from, very famous for crabs. Didn't have crab when I went to Cromer though. Instead, we had luxury hot chocolates in the cafe in the pier. That was very nice. The boys loved that. What else did we do? So my favourite bit of the whole holiday, this is amazing, was I just did a random Google search. I should have done some research before we went, but I didn't. But where to find seals, and the best place to find seals at the moment is this place called Horsey Gap. And so we went there and got onto the beach. So there was loads of cars in the car park, so I knew there was stuff going on. But got to the beach, there was a few seals sort of bobbing around in the sea, which was very exciting. And then walked along the beach, maybe about half a mile, and there was literally hundreds, and 500 seals on the beach. 3 different groups of them in between the breakers. The tide had gone out. There was like baby seals, mums and dads seals, like playing in the water, seals having fights. It was amazing. And when they got freaked out, they all sort of wobbled really fast off the beach into the sea. It was amazing. It's one of the most amazing things I've seen, like nature-wise, just in the wild. I can't believe there were like 500 seals on the beach in the UK. And I spent about an hour just standing there watching them all and trying to get videos and pictures of them. And the boys decided they didn't want to see the seals. There's loads of sand dunes along that beach, so they decided to jump up and down the sand dunes for an hour. Thank you, boys, for appreciating my nature. We went to Bewilderwood as well. Now, if you don't know what Bewilderwood is, it's this like mythical theme park thing in the forest, with like a river. You go on a boat to get in there. And there's all these sort of hut things dotted around, and there's lots of climbing things in between the trees where you can climb between the trees and go on zip wires and down huge slides and stuff. I've been there a couple of times before, and on reflection, probably better when the kids are littler, because they got bored quite quickly. And oh my gosh, it was so expensive. I didn't realise how expensive it would be. It was, I think it was about £70 for 4 of us to go in. And when the boys only actually wanted to stay for like, I think we were there for 3 hours. Yeah, it's quite a lot of money. Not money saving in the slightest, but yeah, really, really great 4 days. We had beautiful sunshine for most of it. And yeah, I highly recommend it. But Airbnb is a great way to get cheap accommodation. Yeah, I highly recommend going to Norfolk. So that means we've been to 3 different places in Norfolk now. Early in the summer, we went to Wells, next to the sea. About a month ago, I just went for a weekend by myself to stay not far actually from where we were last week, because I saw lots of seals there. And yeah, this time Mundersley. So yes, I recommend it. I'm definitely going to take the boys back there in the summer, because it's like 2.5 hours away from where I live in Hertfordshire. So yeah, it's good. Did I spend lots of money over the week? I reckon I spent about £400 or £500 for the week. No, not that much. £300. Yeah, so that included food and what, 70 quid on Bewilderwood. So yeah, it was great fun for half term. So we had a really, really good time. So what that means now is I have to cut back a little bit. So spending diaries. I want to talk to you about spending diaries. I've got my new book, Google book. Well, I opened it up and it's actually been used for noughts and crosses. But so here I'm starting my spending diary from the beginning of November. Now, very important to do this every day. Write down everything you've spent. I've not spent anything so far today. That's good. It's only 11 o'clock, so I've got more time to go. But yeah, write down everything you've spent every day and then add it all up in a total. And this is the new thing for my spending diary that I've not actually done before. And it's actually I can't believe why I haven't done this before, and it makes it even more sort of mindful about what you're spending. But I've done a cumulative total of how much money I've spent so far. So bear in mind, it's the 5th of November. We're not very far into the month, and I've already spent £265 in 5 days. And everything goes onto this list, every little thing. So Jack had some pocket money yesterday, £5. So that goes onto the list. We spent £4 on an eye bath for Josh's eye because it's hurt his eye. There was £4 spent there. But petrol, got some petrol yesterday. I've done a little bit of top-up shops. I need to stop with the top-up shops and just focus on big weekly shops. Because looking at the food so far in 5 days, 35, spent £65 on food, and that's not even proper full shops. Got some clothes, Jack, that was £58. So yeah, £265 spent so far in 5 days. What I'm trying to do is keep my monthly spends, this is sort of everyday essentials, to, I forgot about dinner money that went on there as well. Yes, I had to pay for dinner money and a school trip for Dylan. Yeah, I think the running total is going to keep me really mindful of this £1,000 number for the month, and hopefully it's going to stop me buying non-essential stuff. Because yeah, I want to keep that £1,000 spend under control. I managed to do it in September, I didn't do it at all in October. I had some really big expenses, birthday gifts, a lot of legal costs had to go through in October. So yeah, October ended up being a couple of thousand rather than 1,000. So yeah, I'm hoping my new spending diary is going to keep everything on track. Do you do a spending diary? Does it help you to keep control of your spending? Really important this time of the year in the lead up to Christmas. I'm halfway through writing an article for my website about keeping things under control for Christmas and not getting yourself into debt just for one day of gifts and food and booze and chocolates. So yes, that blog post is coming soon. But on that note of Christmas, and a bit of sort of giving back to other people less fortunate, I'm part of a big campaign with the UK money bloggers community. We are working, so there's about 300 people in this community, people that write about all different aspects of money. There's frugal bloggers, there's food, there's money making, there's money saving, there's family bloggers, there's debt bloggers, there's all kinds of bloggers in the community, and we work together every year on Foodbank Advent campaign. So what this means is it's a great time of the year to start it in early November. So you get a box and you put an item of groceries into that box every day for 25 days, and then you get that to your local food bank the end of November, beginning of December. So perfect timing for them when they're producing when they're putting all their Christmas sort of packages together. So yeah, there's lots of sort of pictures on social media and people starting these collections. It's just a really lovely thing to do because food banks are just so in need of all of these items. Check with your local food bank the sort of things they're looking for. I read an article that Sarah Williams, who's one of the key members of UK Money Bloggers, her local food bank got enough pasta, they've got enough baked beans, but they need things like UHT milk and toiletry items. So yeah, put an item in every day for the month of November and then give it all to your food bank. There's probably, of the 300, hopefully all 300 people would be doing the campaign. They're probably not though. So let's say 50 people do it in the community, and then we get loads of our readers to do the campaign as well. It'll be a huge impact on giving more to food banks that are desperately in need of these products. So yes, I will. If you have a look on my blog, my latest post is all about Foodbank Advent to give you some ideas what you could be putting in your box. I've started a hamper. But yeah, get involved and give back to give to charities. So that's my podcast for this week. Bit shorter this week, 13 minutes. I'll be back next week, or building up to Black Friday, aren't we? That massive shopping time. Make sure you've got your lists ready for your kids, because it might be a good time to do your shopping on Black Friday when you can save some money. Yeah, thanks for listening or watching, and I will pop this onto YouTube and onto the podcasting platforms. I must just talk about this. I'm using this thing called Libsyn, and it shares my podcast around the world automatically. It's very good, very good. So I had lots of listens to my podcast. Very exciting. So yes, thank you for listening to episode 8 of Mrs. Mummypenny Talks, and I'll see you again next week. Bye bye.